Welcome to Final Vortex, where we review all your favourite albums. So, with Halloween approaching, I thought there was no better way to begin the October reviews by getting everyone in the Halloween spirit. And what better way can we do that by reviewing Ghost? Today's episode we'll be reviewing the live album by Ghost, Ceremony and Devotion, starring Poppa III and his Nameless Ghouls. The live album was released in 2017. It has tracks such as The Ritual, Square Hammer, Cerise, and much more. The band is led by Poppa, who has been passed down from generation to generation and has always been followed by his Nameless Ghouls. This album makes you feel immersed, as if you're right there in the ritual, having the band on stage right in front of you, hearing the screams of the fans and just listening to the music and just feeling really within the moment. I've not seen the band live, but just from listening to this album I feel very envious, because it just makes you feel like you're right there in the moment, as if the band are on the stage right in front of you and you're surrounded by all the fans and all you can hear is them singing and screaming along to the music. This album just draws you in. There are a few moments with this album where it kind of feels like it's not quite there in the moment. It feels like you can still hear a bit of studio tunage, but you can just brush that off because this album just puts you right there in the moment and it just makes you want to go and see them live. Or if you've already seen them live, then it'll probably make you reminisce of the moment when you were at one of the rituals. I think this album will definitely lean more towards people who prefer a live album rather than a studio recorded album. Although having said that, I do feel like there are people who enjoy the mixture of the two, who sometimes like to feel very reminiscent or feel within the moment, whereas some people might just prefer to just hear the studio version because it's very clean. It's just the way the song's meant to be, whereas when you listen to a song live, they sometimes change things up by throwing in extra melodies, harmonies, guitar solos here and there, just do things to extend the song a bit more. It just really helps you feel immersed within the music. As I said earlier, of course I've not been to a ritual and witnessed it myself. Of course you can just watch it on YouTube or somewhere on the internet, but I'm a strong supporter of supporting the artist, hence why I buy the vinyl. My younger brother dressed up as a Nameless Ghoul last Halloween and I dressed up as Poppa III. We have the full costumes, and then obviously I collect the vinyl as well because it's just the artwork itself is very beautiful to look at, and then just the discs themselves, they've always just caught my eye and just drew me in. And then just being able to if I don't want to just listen to the album, I can just admire the artwork or so on. I feel that the songs they've selected to put on this album are all just killer. With the opener Square Hammer, the studio version's amazing, but hearing the live version just brings a whole new vibe to it, because it really just immerses you into the rest of the album, and I feel like that's why it's such a good song and such a strong opener for this album. Square Hammer was actually the first song I heard by the band. It was always suggested on YouTube, but for whatever reason I just never click it, until one night me and my younger brother were discussing music and I was saying to him I want to get into new bands and stuff instead of listening to the same music, so he suggested them. Not only when I saw the theatricality behind it with the costumes and the gimmick, that drew me in instantly, because I just love stuff like that where bands just immerse themselves even more into the art and the music they're creating. Yeah, once I heard Square Hammer, Rats, Ritual, many more, I was just all in with this band. And I know a lot of people have said that when it became a Tobias Forge project, they went off the band a little bit. When I became a fan of the band during that time period, it just didn't bother me, and it still doesn't. I just love the music. When you look at them you think, oh, it's going to be really heavy shit, but it's the complete opposite. It's just a combination of all different genres of music and it just works so well, which is why I think that Ghost is probably one of the best bands out there. I don't really have many complaints of this album because a lot of my favourite songs by the band. Can't really fault it too much. I do have a back and forth relationship with live albums where sometimes I have to be in the mood to listen to that type of album, whereas I'd much rather just stick on one of the other albums and just listen to the studio version. But just listening to it, as I said before, it just makes me want to go to one of the rituals and just witness it for myself. And yes, I definitely think if me and my brother do go and see them live at some point, which we probably will, we will definitely wear the full get up as well. Can tell you one thing though, so from last Halloween when I was wearing the costume, I really feel for the guys on stage wearing the costumes, because that thing is hard to breathe in and the sweat just rises up through the mask. Yeah, I think I wore it for about half the night, and then in the end I had to take it off, and my panda eyes was just dripping all down my face and into my mouth, and it wasn't the best look, but thankfully it was Halloween, so you get away with it. For me, the song Pinnacle on the Pit feels like Lucifer being cast out from heaven, being banished by his father, and then using his new power to sort of seek revenge, if you will. Whereas He is a song which is confessing your loyalty and love to Lucifer, whereas like in the original music video, they're in a church where Poppa is what seems to be baptizing women in the name of Lucifer, essentially. But yeah, when I listen to these albums and these songs, even though each song probably has its own meaning, there's also like different theories you can come up with where you think like, oh, it might be about this, but then you can also see it a different way, which I think is really good, which leaves like the fan to interpret their own meaning behind each song, and then see more of a different story behind each one. I think out of all the looks for the Poppas, Poppa III is definitely my favourite. Like just as his overall look. Although I do think that, but I do also think like the new look for Poppa IV, because the Cardinal has now moved up in rank. It's very different and very extravagant with the colours and stuff. And it'd be quite interesting to see what he looks like when he removes his robe, essentially. Yeah, so basically it'd be quite interesting to see if his undersuit is as extravagant as his robe is, because he obviously had like the black suit and the white suit, and obviously a red one as well. So it's be quite interesting to see what they do next. For the cover, as you can see, you've got Poppa I and Poppa II channeling their energy into Poppa III, and this cover was based off a scene in the film Metropolis, which again has two bodies in two different chambers channeling their energy into a new being, if you will. But yeah, I think this album's like, it's just really beautiful to look at. It's like us, the fans, are cheering for the new Poppa to be created and born, because you can see like all the detail in it, and like just with the lights being so close down, beaming up, it just makes you feel like how giant these beings are. So with this artwork, it's very similar to the Meliora and Poppa III eras, where it's the same similar style of artwork, which I think is really nice to keep it like all connected as they go. I also really like the golden look to it as well. Yeah, I just think it really like symbolises the light and life being brought through and into Poppa, essentially. As you open it up, you've got a nice shot of the band on stage. But yeah, this is such a nice shot of the band, just of the smoke, the pyro, the light, and then like again the whole theatrical side of it all. It just makes me want to go and see what they do live and really experience it for myself. And then again we have like a little art book here, again with just different artworks, tour dates from 2015 to 2016 and 17, and then again just more live shots essentially. And then on the back, of course, we have the different song titles, and then on each disc slipcover it has the songs and the lyrics on either side. This one has Poppa on it. So then, as you can see, the disc is a translucent tiger eye colour. I just think this looks really nice, like the copper sort of colour with the black smoke. I think it fits very well in theme with the colours of the actual artwork, and I really like that when the discs and the artwork match. I think it just makes for a better collective piece all around and artwork. And then again on the back of the gatefold, we have the band again with some more live shots, which you see some of them in the booklet on the inside as well, again with all the songs going around the outside. So guys, if you've been to a ritual, or considering going to one when the pandemic's over of course, or if you've been prior, what's your favourite moment from being there and being within the experience? Not only that, what's your favourite album or perhaps song? Are you more of a fan of the look of Poppa Emeritus III like myself, or do you prefer Poppa Nil, 1, 2, or even the Cardinal, or now Poppa IV? As always, guys, remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And always remember, the Vortex is open.